Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting uh, our NNIT graduate event 2021 in a couple of minutes. So 2 more minutes, then we'll start. So please line up, get your coffee ready and water, and I hope you waiting to get a lot of information from us. So I think it's time for us to get started. And first of all, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's graduate event at NNIT. I'm great to see you, all of you, and I, would have loved you for being physical here at Østmarken, but now we're going to do it virtual, and hopefully you will get a great impression of NNIT, and not least that you'll get a lot of knowledge and also inspiration about what is NNIT's graduate program. My name is Jens Moe. I'm CTO in NNIT, and I joined NNIT 12 years ago. Not as graduate though, to be honest, but one of the first things I noticed when joining NNIT was what a fantastic graduate program NNIT has. It's an inheritance from Novo Nordisk, and I've seen many great talents being brought up in NNIT and really becoming something really professional, and I think that it's a benefit to NNIT and to all of you young people to join these programs. They are very well organized. Now we are looking for about 20 graduates this year for various graduate programs, and you will actually get to know a lot about them. And therefore, you also see that I'm joined by Jane, who's our graduate manager, and I will be speaking to you in 20 minutes or so. And we're going to introduce you to different aspects of NNIT. So what is NNIT as a company? What kind of culture do we have? But you'll also be able to listen to some of our colleagues, some of our graduates currently, and they will tell you about how it is to work in NNIT and being a graduate. So I hope you're gonna have a great time here. And so just to make it clear, if you are passionate about IT, which we are here in NNIT, and if you want to make a mark, then we certainly believe that NNIT is the right place to be. It's a great place to learn and build a career, and where you get to work with big organizations that we serve. It can be in the Danish market, such as Vestas, Ørsted, Stark. It can be Novo Nordisk, but it can also be within our international life science, where we work with some of the biggest pharmaceuticals that you've probably gotten to learn this year because of all the vaccine programs that is going on that we also work with. So it's a great place. This I hope you will see. So with this disclaimer, allow me to walk you through today's program, and I will try and introduce NNIT here in a minute or two, and afterwards I will, if I just could get this one to go away, I would love. Thank you. Hold on. There we go. After this, Jane will come over and take over at 20 minutes past 4, where she will introduce you to NNIT's graduate program. There's actually several that you can participate in. And after that, around 4:30, you will meet our graduates from various programs. And lastly, you will actually get to have a Q&A session. And I think that we got different ways of you to ask questions. You can use the chat at this point, and they will take up some of your questions. But you can also raise your hand at that point. And I actually think that we were able to put you through live here. So let's see how that goes on. So we hope that you will be ready with good questions when we reach this point. Now, first, in order to talk about NNIT, then I want you to know that NNIT is a leading provider of IT transformational services, and we cover two markets. We cover the big international life science scene, which also includes Danish life science companies that you probably know, companies like Novo Nordisk, Lundbeck, Leo Pharma, and so on. And then we also cover all the big Danish large organizations, both in the public sector and the private sector. So we work with very professional customers, and you will also see that as part of our culture that we are able to engage with these on all different sizes. And that's our inheritance here in NNIT. And you will see that we are a global company, or an international company. You will see that we work very much with the European market and the US market and the Danish market. And then you will see we also have affiliates around in sourcing destinations that is pointed out here on the map. So it's about 3,100 employees and located in 11 different places. Now, it's a very diverse group you will meet into here in NNIT with a lot of Scandinavian culture and leadership behind. And there's no doubt that what you see now in NNIT is that we are expanding very much in the international life science area. And therefore, you will see that we are available in Switzerland, in Germany, in Ireland, in UK, and are expanding in the US as well. So a global company. And you can also see that we have a lot of diversity with many different nationalities that you will have as colleagues. And also that we have, for an IT company, a very large percentage actually as women. So 32% of NNITs are actually women, which is really, really good. And that's good for our culture and good for our diversity here in NNIT. Now in NNIT, we have an aspiration. And our aspiration in NNIT is that we together make a mark in business, but also society, bringing digital transformation to life. And I'll talk briefly about digital transformation in a few minutes. And then we have a strategy in NNIT where we provide winning solutions that we deliver through proven concepts, fit for purpose, and first time right to our customers. So that's our strategy. And I'll come back to what winning solutions that we actually work with in NNIT, because I think you're going to find that interesting on what kind of knowledge that we actually work with here in NNIT. And lastly, we are a people company with very strong values. You will find them being open and honest. You will find us to be conscious driven, and you will find us to be very value adding in what we do. So if you can live up to those three things, open and honest, conscious driven, and value adding, then NNIT is probably the right place for you. But you can actually ask our colleagues about that later on. So we'll get back to these. Here's a selection of the customers we have in NNIT, and you can probably recognize some of them. Very big Danish large customers that we serve through many of our services. But you also spot a lot of international customers that you've got acquainted to over this year. AstraZeneca, you probably know about, HA Vaccines, but also Swiss-based Novartis you will find in here. And our US portfolio of life science customers is also expanding. So it's you could say it's a diverse group of customers, but they have all this in common, that either they are in the life science industry or they are pretty big organizations. That's where we see our best fit for our services in NNIT. Now, what is happening right now for all of these organizations is that they are hit by what we call the digital transformation. I'm sure that you probably know about what digital transformation is, but it is changing the world and has been going on for quite some years now. And I think that maybe it's easiest to explain what happened during this year of COVID-19. Suddenly, we all had to work from home. Many of you probably were sitting back home at your home getting education online. The same goes for our shopping experiences. We all went from shopping in physical stores into shopping, online, meaning that we went into a hybrid shopping experience as we bought it maybe online, and then we had this curbside pickup or click and collect, as we call it here in Denmark. So the digital experience is changing the whole world. Now, most of our customers, this is happening to. They all are starting to become much more data-driven. You're seeing them working with various of new technologies that is changing everything. So the world is changing, and so are our customers. Can you imagine being Pandora, that overnight had to shut down about 2,000 shops and had to reinvent how they were selling jewelry? That's a very, very dramatic change, and so they did. But we also see it in the life science business, where things are changing now. We used to have the best research people who were very, very clever in the laboratories. They're now changing into being the best within the data and AI area, where they're discovering new drugs. So this is also transforming their industry. So digital transformation is at core to our customers, and so it is for NNIT as well. So you will see that many of our services that we bring to our customers is right in the center of digital transformation. And speaking of those services, you probably know about data and AI. And data and AI is definitely changing the world. Data is king, as you know. And many or most of our customers want to become data-driven companies, meaning that we help them build data lakes, business intelligence portals, and so on, in order for them to be able to take the right decisions or maybe find new medicines to cure people. Data and AI is a fast growing area, and you will see that we invest heavily in this area and are expanding also. That might be the right place for you. Or it might be in the hybrid cloud area, where we see cloud technology is transforming the world. Many of our customers are moving things out of data centers into the cloud, where we in NNIT work together with Microsoft and Amazon Web Services in order to enable our customers to digital transformation. But on the flip side of this, we see that criminals are starting to take advantage of these technologies. So we have a large area called cybersecurity, where we help our customers stay safe in the world of digital transformation. More and more incidents is happening, more and more attacks are happening towards them, and we have a very large cybersecurity setup here in NNIT, helping these big organizations protect themselves against theft and blackmail and all kinds of stuff that these digital thieves are trying to take advantage of. So cybersecurity is definitely a big expanding area. Our Microsoft solutions area help our customers improve their customer experience, meaning that we help them improve their digital journeys through their Dynamics 365 portfolio, including also their financial operations. We're also now starting to provide Power Platform services to our customers using low-code, no-code platforms. So also a very growing area. And lastly, we have two of the life science areas, which is really important to NNIT. It's a fast and rapidly growing area. And so if you want to make a mark, being part of an, improving public health, you could say, and save lives, then this is the place. So you can see two of the areas I've highlighted here, the Viva Solutions area and the clinical area. And in the clinical area, we help our customers either, make failure happening faster during their trials or succeeding sooner. And what you see there is that the big life science companies of the world, and also the small biotechs, like BioNTech, by the way, the end goal for them is the same, that have a technology-enabled, data-driven clinical trial conduct that is compliant and secure. In our Viva powerhouse area, we have now helped more than 25 global clients improve their business processes across quality and regulatory affairs, and also clinical. And what we see actually there is we're helping them to bring the products or medicines faster and safer to the end users. A good example of that is actually AstraZeneca, where we in NNIT is actually help them to do their adverse events right now on their COVID-19 vaccine using the Viva platform. Maybe that's something for you. And what's interesting in NNIT is that we cover all phases of this. So if you would like to become a consultant that gives advice to our customers, then we have very senior and good people that can teach you how to be the best advisory consultant. Or maybe you like to build stuff, which many do. Then we have a lot of senior people that can actually help you build stuff and learn how to be a good builder. Or maybe you like to be a good operate and support engineer. And being like that, we also have a large practice in how you operate and support things the most efficient. And that's the cool thing about NNIT. It's a cool thing about our customers like with us, that we can do and deliver on everything. But it's also good for you, because maybe you are in a period where you would like to do some advisory and later on you would like to move into build. It means that we can do many different things in NNIT and serve many of your needs. So hopefully you will find some of these solutions interesting for you, or one of these profiles over here. It's also important for me to stress that sustainable development goals is important for NNIT. We actually focus on 4 areas right now. The first one is within quality education, where we want to make sure that we contribute to the Danish area of education. So one of the things is, of course, that we participate within the universities, or this event for that matter, to help young people become professionals. But we're actually also a founding partner of the coding class here in Denmark, so we're very proud about that. The same thing goes for gender equality, where we in NNIT are very much focused on gender equality and how we can improve this. It means that we within our leaderships area are focused on how to get more female to become leaders in NNIT. And we have programs to help them try to build a career called Head Over Heels that we're trying to build right now. And you can actually see that just by being almost 1/3 being women, that we actually are starting to become successful in this area. Now, the last 2 areas is also important for NNIT. So being able to help on innovation infrastructure in Denmark, of course, but also to being responsible in terms of consumption and production. Not only our data centers today actually to deliver on this, because we fuel them by green energy, of course, but we also bring innovative solutions out to our customers in order for them to be consuming responsible and producing responsible. So this is important for us, and you can actually contribute to this when you join NNIT. So we hope that will also be interesting for you. This was a very, very short introduction of NNIT. I hope you found it interesting. You always feel free to ask questions, and we will answer them in the end. But more importantly is to try and bring Jane into here and see if Jane, you can take over the presentation. Hi, Jane. Welcome.
Thank you, Jens. I will do my best to now give you some information about all the graduate programs that we offer, so you will learn much more about and understand both what we offer, what you can expect if you join one of our programs, and also which one of our programs that would be the perfect choice for you. So the aim of this session, this part of the session, is for you to be able to make your choice about which of our programs you should apply for. Let me see if it works. I think it's a bit slow. Sorry about this.
I can try and see if I can help you.
Okay. Can you move to the next slide? Perfect. Thank you. At NNIT, we have a long and successful history of working with young professionals, and we actually take great pride in our graduate programs and what it represents in our organization. Because we are a learning organization and we're seeking to become better and stronger all the time. But we need you guys, young talents, to be part of that journey, because we believe very much in something we call a junior-senior setup, that we have senior people who are specialized within an area of expertise. They have a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, and a lot of experience that they bring to the table. And we combine them with you, and you bring curiosity, ambition, energy, and different perspectives to what we normally do. And this combination and collaboration actually help us to grow and become better at what we do every day. So no matter which one of our graduate programs you will choose, we offer you a steep learning curve. And I promise you, we will challenge you and we will push you, but we will always make sure that you are supported by senior professionals, managers, and specialists. Because we invest in your future, and we want to help you build a solid platform for your future career in the industry. And then we know that one of the things that makes us go to work and be happy is a network and a feeling of belonging. So therefore, we do a lot of things to make you belong at NNIT, but one of the things that we're very proud of is our young professional community, where you get to know a lot of young people across the entire NNIT organization. And this is also a way to make you feel that you are part of something bigger, to make you understand that you're part of something much bigger than just the role that you have. But these are my words, and I think that we should take the next slide, Jens, because when we ask some of our current graduates about their impression and their experience, this is what some of them said. Frederik points out that being part of our graduate program has given him opportunities he couldn't imagine getting anywhere else. And he also states that he has been involved in projects that create a true impact because he has been part of this junior-senior setup. He has, we see you as a team member from the very beginning, so you work on projects and not just put aside, you really do important work from day one. Anna, on the other hand, she highlights the fact that we are so proud of our graduates and you have a great reputation in our organization. So she has felt that every department would like to have a graduate in their department, and she has experienced that this has given her so many great opportunities to pursue. But let me now also give you some facts about how we structure our programs. So the next slide. Because we have had graduate programs for so many years, actually for over a decade now, we have developed them, we have strengthened them over the years, and today we have actually created several programs designed to match your ambitions and your motivations and where you are right now. So you get to choose the program that suits you the best. In brief, we have divided our programs into two categories or two types of programs. The first program, we call that the NNIT graduate program. In this program, it would be perfect for you if you have a lot of interest areas. For instance, maybe you think cybersecurity is interesting, data and AI is also interesting. It could also be interesting to work with cloud, but you're not completely certain which of these 3 areas you would like to actually work within. And maybe you're not also quite certain whether it should be in a technical role or a more advisory consulting role. Then you should choose this program, because here you get to choose 3 different departments over the 18 months the program lasts. So you get to try out various departments and you get to try out various roles and figure out which one is the perfect match for you and which you wish to pursue. This is why we call it the NNIT graduate program, because you can actually choose departments across the entire organization. On the other hand, if you're sitting right now and thinking, I know what I would like to do, I know which kind of role that is the perfect match for you. That could be as a consultant, as a project manager, a DevOps engineer, or a solution architect. Then our specialist program is the perfect match for you. Because in those programs, you get to try out a specific role and you deep dive into it, you unfold it and you try it out from various angles and in different situations. So you get really good at working as a project manager or a DevOps engineer or whichever you choose. These are some of the differences between our programs, but there are, of course, a lot of similarities as well. In all our programs, you are supported by a line of business mentor and a line of business manager. And you will, in all our programs, get lots of hands-on experience. Like Frederik was mentioning, you get to work on projects and tasks that creates a true impact from day one. Then we, of course, give you skills courses and we provide certifications within the area you focus on. And on top of all this, we assist you, coach you, and help you in your personal development throughout the programs. And Jens, let us show them that we have actually 5 programs open for application right now. So we have 4 specialist programs. We have a program within DevOps. We have one where you can become a solution architect, another in consulting, and a 4th in project management. And on top of that, we also have the NNIT graduate program where you can rotate between the 3 departments. And as you can see here, we believe in working in teams. So we have created our programs in a way that you will become part of a team and you will follow each other throughout the period that the program lasts. Then we have some formal stuff on the next slide. Remember this date, March 21st. This is the deadline for all 5 of the programs for applications. So remember that and remember to apply before that. We expect that we will have our first interviews in the beginning of April in week 14. But you will get a notice of that if you're invited. The program starts in September 21, so this fall. And very importantly, when you are hired into a graduate program at NNIT, you will receive an open-ended contract. This means that you will, of course, be part of the program, but once the program ends, you will continue in NNIT. So if you're part of a specialist program, you will be hired into a specific department. And after the program has ended, you will continue in that department. If you, on the other hand, is hired to the NNIT graduate program, you will typically continue in one of the 3 departments where you have been doing your program. I think that was actually it for me. And I think it's much more important to meet some of our current graduates and hear about their experiences And now you also get a chance to ask questions and get to know what you would like to know. So Jens, welcome back on screen, not stage, but screen.
Yeah. Thank you, Jane. So pretty interesting. So actually, you know, one general graduate program, which I would have loved when I started out. I didn't know what I should do. I think I would have loved to have an NNIT graduate program, you know, moving around, figuring out whether or not I was a consultant, or maybe I should have gone, you know, project management, or so many different things you can be today. And I guess also difficult, you know, when you're young with so many opportunities to select. I would have loved that one. But also great with the more focused ones, where you get to learn a lot, and some very interesting areas there, where you have a lot of growth and opportunity in the future. Now, to put some more words on this, actually we have invited some of our colleagues. We have Signe, who's going to talk about an IT graduate program, and then we have Julie joining, who also is going to talk about our project management area, which is very big in NNIT also. Emil is going to talk about our DevOps area, and then Amalie is going to talk about our architecture graduate program, and lastly we're going to have Camilla, who's actually a former graduate in NNIT and now actually leads a lot of young professionals in our consulting area. And if I'm lucky, I can figure out how to uncover this slide. Let's see if I can do this here. And hopefully you should all come out now live. Welcome everyone, and maybe I should just jump to Julie. Welcome, Julie. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Hello. I'm Julie.
Yeah.
Hi. Should I just start?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Julie, and I'm part of the Project Management Graduate Program. I have a bachelor's degree in communication and Spanish from Copenhagen Business School, but I knew I wanted to work with IT after graduating, so I applied for an IT master's. I changed my track, and I specialized in ICT learning and organizational change from Aalborg University. And during my studies, I worked a lot of with real life projects. I was collaborating with companies needing help to transform their businesses with technology. So driving projects and working with different stakeholders was one of the reasons why I applied for the project management graduate program. I knew this was the right direction for me. I wanted to specialize in this as I'm very result driven, and I enjoy working in teams and remove obstacles for everyone involved to ensure that we reach the milestones in our project. So I thought that the project management program was a great opportunity for me to immerse myself into the field of project management and develop my skills, professional skills in this. And as Jane also explained, we get the responsibility on projects early on, and guidance and mentorship. So that was really also important for me and why I applied for the project management program.
Thank you, Julia. And so welcome to you, Julia. Now we'll try and move to Signe. Welcome, Signe.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
We can.
Good. So I have been part of the NNIT graduate program. I just finished 1st of March. So now I'm just a regular consultant. My educational background is from DTU and Aalborg University, where I have a master in engineering. Specifically, it is called Operation and Management Engineering. And that master in itself is not really directly added a career in IT, but I actually found my interest from my student job at another IT company, and I just realized I had to pursue a career within IT. And then I heard about the NNIT graduate program, and I knew it was something for me. I think in general, no matter what type of graduate program you choose in NNIT, it's just a really, really nice way of learning a company as big as NNIT is. And I chose specifically the NNIT program because of the personal development, the steep learning curve that I can definitely say that's the case. You're challenged in many ways and in the best possible ways. And specifically, I think that how you change in the different departments for me was so interesting to see the different perspectives in a company like that. That really appealed to me. Yeah.
It would also appeal to me. I can promise you that, and I fully agree. That's wonderful. Thank you, Signe. Then we're gonna move to the other man on the podium today. Hi, Emil.
Hi. I also hope you can hear me.
We can.
So yeah,
Welcome.
my name is Emil, and I'm in the DevOps graduate program. So my background is in computer science from the University of Copenhagen, and when I was done with my degree, I felt that a graduate program was a great way to start my career, because I wanted real world experience, which I think a lot of people want. But I also wanted like dedicated time to improve my skills, because of course we get a lot of information at the university, but sometimes you need some more to be ready for the real world. So to me, a graduate program is like a mix between education and work, and this was important to me. And yeah, I chose DevOps because it has like a natural focus on the technical side, which synergizes well with my background, and it has a focus on cloud and automation, which is areas where I personally wanted to get some expertise, and I've gotten this at NNIT, so I'm really happy with my decision. I started last September, so it's been great. That's it from me.
That's good to hear, me. That's good to hear. Now over to Camilla. Camilla, you're a former graduate in IT. Tell us about you.
Yes, so I hope you can hear me. Yes. So yeah, my name is Camilla, and I have an educational background from CBS in political communication and management, so not very IT related. But nevertheless, I applied in 2016, so 5 years ago now, for the NNIT graduate program, as she described. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm representing the consulting graduate program, which is a new program that we are launching this year. So we don't have any previous graduates who can talk about what to expect, but I will be leading the program, so I hope I can answer questions if you have any questions related to the consulting graduate program. And I can put a few words on what you can expect. So it's a 1-year program, and you get to try 2 different modules within consultancy. So you get to try out either security or our digital innovation department, which is all the new things like HoloLenses and data and AI and stuff. Or you can try out our last department, which is in our private and public area, which is more classical management consulting services, such as project management, facilitating workshops, and so on. So there's a very short description of what to expect from the consulting graduate program. And hopefully some of you will be here next year talking about what to expect from the program.
Thank you, Camilla, and welcome to you. And then we say welcome to the last, but not least, Amalie, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Amalie, and I started the architect graduate program in September 2019. I got my master's in the IT University as a digital design and communication, where my master or major was service design. I had a lot of different student jobs throughout my education because I didn't know what path I wanted to take. I just knew it should be something with a IT company. So when I finished on the ITU, I didn't know which direction I wanted to go because I have tried out everything with service design and user experience, where it was like in the top of the stack, and I didn't know a lot about deep technology. So I found out that I wanted to learn more about down in the stack. So I applied for the IT university, what's called the architect program, to have that kind of knowledge, and it was super great because I wasn't the only one starting. There was 3 others, and we shared a lot knowledge sharing throughout the program, and there was a lot of help from our colleagues, and I learned a lot about how to put the different components together and how they work. So it was a great experience. And there is also this community, young professionals in the NNIT. So you're not, when you're starting as a young professional, you're not alone. There's a lot of other young people where you can knowledge share, and we have a lot of fun together. So it was a great start. Yeah.
Thank you, Amelia, and welcome everyone. Now we're gonna try and answer a lot of questions, and we also have some already in. And I just heard that we had a question from Samuel, and actually I think it could go to Jane. Samuel asks, are all graduate positions located in Copenhagen? Which is a good question.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a short answer, but most of them are. So if I think in one of the specialist programs in the project management graduate program, where Julia is also being part of, there we are seeking 4 positions in Denmark and 2 in Prague. But that's the only one. The others are actually based in Denmark. I hope that answers your question.
It was a good question. So, Signe, what have surprised you the most in the transition, from being a student to becoming, a full-time employee in NNIT? Can you try and elaborate on that?
I can definitely try. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is me being able to enjoy my weekends, and I realized all the national holidays, especially during the spring, were suddenly days that you have actually are off, you're not studying. So that was a small thing, but a really nice thing. But honestly, I think there is just a change in the way you're working. You're going from being your own success, being very aware of your grades and how you do, and you have like a very firm setup. Of course, you're able to choose different subjects as you go along, but overall it's very set. But as you transform into like a full-time employee, it's much more a team effort. It's the success of the company. I mean, you just feel a sense of belonging, and that's different, a different way of working for sure. I also want to highlight that for me personally, I felt a huge change in going from something so well known, something that I had been doing for years, doing both, like studying both in the gymnasium but also at the university, and then trying something so different. I mean, it honestly, it took some time to transform, but that's also why I really thought that the graduate program just is the perfect transition. I think Emil also mentioned the fact that it is sort of like a middle way, something between you studying still and learning new knowledge, but also you in an actual full-time position. So yeah.
So pretty interesting. I also remember it shifting. It's a big change, right? Moving from head in the books to becoming very practical. Amalie, I know that some have very deep technical backgrounds in order to move into working with IT. But do you need to have that as an education or in order to apply?
I actually thought about the same thing when I applied for the architect graduate program, because I only had one course of coding at my master's. But yeah, you can have a lot of different backgrounds. I was hired with the 3 others, and we had all different backgrounds. Nobody had any actually deep technology education at all. But it is very essential that you are curious about how the different components are put together, and are willing to learn, because it is a steep learning curve, but it is totally worth it, because you learn so much. So yeah, we can have different backgrounds. But for example, if you are applying for Emil's DevOps program, it would be beneficial to know just some of it.
Makes sense definitely. If you are a builder, then you need to do it. But I think I also got some good questions here from Oliver, who asks, how is the workplace culture? Does any of you want to apply? Do you want to give a good guess, Camilla? Can you tell me what's the culture like in NNIT, and also does everyone speak English?
If everyone speaks English,
Yeah.
A lot of meetings, people are speaking English. I would say it is a pretty global culture. I can say for myself, I tried working in our Chinese office for a half year, and there was a quite different culture, but you still felt this sense of NNIT belonging. So it is kind of a special culture, but pretty much everyone speaks English, and yeah, if I should put a bit more words on the culture and how it is to work like in NNIT, it's a great place, as you had also mentioned, for young people to start out. We have these very good programs for young people to start a career, and we have great junior senior mixes, so you get to learn from the best. And moreover, I think what is very special about working in NNIT is that we have a pretty diverse culture, I would say. So you find a pretty technical nerds, said in a very positive way, but you also find a more business people. So this kind of combination is actually a very cool thing to be a part of. So
is it would you call it a learn? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we have this saying, one NNIT in NNIT, and I really think that is very important, because something I noticed, I worked a lot of places, but in NNIT, people are very helpful and very friendly when you're new, also when you're not new. But yeah, everybody is like prepared to help, and they are very supportive and know what you're going through in the different programs. Everybody is aware. So that is very important, that everybody's like living by one NNIT. So we are like helping each other, because everybody needs each other to make everything work. So yeah.
So a learning culture is important, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I often think about that what NNIT has a culture there is that open and honesty that we talk a lot about. Do you all agree that that's a thing? That's a thing that you can feel and that you can sense in what we do in NNIT. And we always, when we talk to customers and they come back and we ask them, so what is it that we do good? and then they they obviously talk about a lot of the services that we do to them, but lastly they always come back to us as with people about us being open and honest about things, transparency in what we do. They like that, and of course that we are conscience driven about what we do. So the cultural thing, we are a people company to a large extent, definitely. So hopefully that answers Oliver's question. And just so English way, it's fair to say that for most customers, they all speak English or understand English is fair. It's company language for many of them. There are a few of the Danish public authorities who's actually insist on that they need to speak Danish, but that's the only place actually this is the case that I have seen. So hopefully that answers Oliver's question.
If you don't speak Danish, you can still apply if that's what was into the question. It is an English-speaking company, so you can apply if you don't speak Danish.
Yeah, that's true. I got a bunch of questions coming in over here, so I will see if I can get them through. So we got a question here from Victoria. She says, "Hi, I want to apply for the graduate program, and I'm wondering whether I should state in my cover letter which 3 departments I wish to be a part of during the 18 months." That's a good question, Victoria. Let's see if we can get Jane to answer that one.
I think that's a very good question, and I think it's a good idea to do. If you already have an idea about where you would like to go, then that's a really good idea to do so. Of course, I cannot promise you exactly that those will be the 3 departments because I don't know what you will write, but that's a really good idea. So please do that. Then we know your interests and motivations, and that's actually very important for us.
And I have one more question here, Jane, from Nicoline. What can we expect from the recruitment process?
You can expect unfortunately, we think that the first interviews will be virtual. So we will meet you virtually. And at those interviews, it's much about getting to know you and your motivations and ensure that you know about the specific program you're applying for, so that we on both sides of the table are aware of what we're talking about. That's the first interview, and then we will have a second interview, and we cross our fingers that you will be able to actually come here to our office and meet us physically, because we think that's very important. And we are a people company, so we would like to meet you. But if that's not possible, then we will do it virtually, and that will also be fine. And in the second interviews, there could, depending on the program, there could either be a small case that you need to solve, there can be a personality profile or a cognitive assessment. So you should, prepare yourself for that, and we will also take references. That's the third part of the process.
Thank you, Jane. If you could just mute yourself, yes. I can hear. So I will just try and go back to some of the others that came in here, or have actually written down here. I would actually like to go to Julie, because I think you're sitting there and listening in also. Yes. Julia, what has been your most interesting project so far?
Well, there has been a lot of interesting projects already, even though I've been here since October 2019. I've been lucky to be on customer project, but also internal project. And for me, my most interesting project has actually been an internal project here in NNIT. We have been working on changing one of our vital IT system, and I've had the pleasure to have been involved from the beginning, and I got the responsibility to come up with a plan from scratch. So I had to involve a lot of stakeholders in order to come up with this plan, figure out the dependencies, ensure communication in right time, and ensure that the end users got the right training. And this has just been really fun, because this is maybe not a normal project that you will be able to do. And what's really interesting also is that it's really there's a high complexity, which I really enjoy, because you have to be aware of all these end users, and there are a lot of integrations that you have to consider. So you must stay up on your feet all the time and ensure to remove these obstacles that I talked about before, to ensure that we get to the end goal. It's really exciting, and I was trusted with this responsibility from the very beginning. I have a mentor also, but it's been quite a journey on this project, and a deep learning curve, because I get to go around NNIT and talk to a lot of people, and it has been a great way for me to know the organization and get to know NNIT. And as the rest is explaining, you get help everywhere where you ask, so it has been really fun.
I can imagine, Julia. I remember that we had during a year in NNIT, we handled more than I think 1,200 projects in NNIT, and at all time, every day we have about 1,000 open projects going on. So we execute a lot of projects, and we need a lot of project managers in NNIT like Julia. So I bet you got training from some pretty experienced project management people. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yeah, definitely.
I can
And
imagine.
a lot of
Sorry?
And a lot of difference, because you get to work with in both some application projects and also infrastructure projects. So there are a lot of different mentors that you get to have contact with.
That's good. That's good to hear. Let's take some more questions here from the, and I'm getting in here from a screen, so it's not because I'm trying to defocus. It's just I'm getting old here. I need to read here. So it's a question from Henrik. I have some experience with programming, but I don't consider it my strongest suit. Could you explain a bit more about what work is like as a solution architect? Amalie. So let's see, we can go Amalie way, or we can go Emil. We will try and go to Amalie. What's it like?
Yeah, it is fun and very exciting. I don't code or program at all, and I'm not good at it. So that was also something I said to my first interview. That is not the thing that I do. But yeah, you are like, you're not a project manager as a solutions architect, but you still have to work with a lot of stakeholders, and you're the one who's doing the design. So I have been in a lot of projects where you have the responsibility to reach out to the correct people who will build it. So I'm not the one who's sitting and building the solution, I'm designing it. So it's in a collaboration with a lot of other colleagues from different departments. So you get a very strong and big network in NNIT as a solutions architect, and also, of course, as a project manager and other job positions. Yeah, and like Julie said, she had a mentor, and also had a mentor throughout this program. So when you're designing something from the first time, he's helping, or she is helping, what solution that will fit best in this project. So that's how we work. But if you have an interest for like programming or coding, I bet there would be some project where that also could come and play. But that is something that you can talk to your manager about. If you have something that excites you and drives you, you can still be a solutions architect, but with like a specific skill, for example. So yeah.
And Amalie, just to say that as solution architect, we got a lot of architects also in NNIT, and they come in all different flavors. They can come in as service architects. They can come in as a solution architects. I even think we have custom architects as well. So a lot of people to learn from as well here.
Exactly, and also cloud architects. So you can also, if you find out what drives you and what you think that is very exciting for you, you can also like move around. So if you want to try to be a service architect but have been in my program, there will be a possibility to try that out, I would bet. So it is so you're in. There's a lot of different stakeholders that you have to engage with. So there's a lot of possibilities throughout the architecture world, I would say.
That's good. Thanks, Amelia, and I hope that answers your questions, Henrik. Then we got a question from Sana that asks, what is the main qualification that is needed to be accepted in the graduate program? The main qualification is that you apply, but maybe maybe Jane can put some more words to it. Jane?
I don't have just. I think it would be wrong of me to say that there's only one thing that you should have. What's important at NNIT is your personality, your drive and your motivation and your curiosity and your eagerness to make a mark, make a difference. And of course, work with IT. I think that's actually the most important part, so that we make sure that you fit us and we fit you. So I think that's the closest I get to one thing that's very important.
And I also think learning is
definitely
important. I have the next one here. It's a question from Joachim, and he asks, "Hi there. I'm really excited about the consulting graduate program. At the same time, I'm also captivated by the idea of trying different roles and areas in the general graduate program. Is it unheard of to apply for more than one program?" I guess that also goes to Jane, but I like the fact, of course, Camilla, that someone there was interested in the consulting program. I fully agree on that. But Jane, maybe you can you actually apply for multiple programs?
There's a very short answer to that, and there's a bit longer. So I think I would take the both. The short answer is yes, you can apply for more than one program. But I think it's also very important that you think hard about what you believe will be the best program for you, because you can end up in a situation where if you don't decide, then we decide for you. And we might not decide what you actually figure out in the end you would have wanted to. But it is okay. And I understand that it's a really difficult choice for you. So it is okay to apply for more than one, but think hard about which programs you will apply for.
Okay, I'll try and speed up because there's a lot of questions here, and actually, so just so you know, we will try and get them answered, most of them. A question here from Jakob, also to Jane. In this graduate program, what kind of income salary do you receive, or do you get SU, or how does that work?
You don't get SU. You get a salary and a pension, actually, also. So you're hired into a completely normal contract. You will be an employee, as I said, from the very first day. So you get a salary and you get your pension, and you will get healthcare, insurance, and all that kind of things in a normal contract. So, and then part of the program will also be all the courses and all the training you receive during that period.
You also get access to our fitness room, in the basement, not least. It's very important to make note of that. And in these Corona days, unfortunately, it is closed, just like the ones that normally are available. Too bad. A lot of more questions. Let me take you to Helena. It's a practical questions. I like those. It's the last Jane question for now, because otherwise we will. Jane, the last one here. Are any graduate roles represented at your office in Aarhus, or is it only in Copenhagen? Could you just make that clear?
They're actually all based here in Copenhagen, but we have had several others who have been working here in Copenhagen and then having a module in Aarhus. But the programs are based here at our headquarters.
So that was Jane, you could go on, right? This is the last one. Should applications be written in English or Danish?
We prefer to get them in English. That was a very brief question, brief answer.
That's good. I will actually try and take some of the more who's gonna. I think there were some good questions in to some of our graduates. Actually, some more. No, let's do some more Jane questions. They love the practical ones. Could you just go up? Oh, okay. So here's actually one for me. Hi, my name is Lorena. My questions are more related to NNIT's business outlook. Who does NNIT consider their competitors? How do you differentiate yourselves from them? In which areas do you consider yourself better or the best? That is a cool question, and thanks for that. I would definitely look into our winning solutions areas, where you see where we are definitely among the best. If you look in the life science area, I would look very much within the clinical area. We are very strong. What is known as in the Viva area, which is a solution area, we are very strong within regulatory affairs and clinical safety systems and so on. Then you will see that we have become really good in the production IT through acquisitions, which is also expanding very much. So that covers some of the life science area. I would also say that the entire quality management area in life science, we are very good. So born out of the life science industry as an IT company has definitely made ourselves very strong in these. And if you look at just Viva, which is a very big life science suite, we are probably top 2 in the world in this area, competing with one giant company called Accenture. So there was a competitor at least. If you look in the other areas, then we have some 2 major areas where we focus within the Microsoft area and the SAP area. We're very strong in the operations part of SAP, and NNIT is probably the biggest in Denmark. And we can use that also for the life science industry. Many of them are production companies, life science. They make pharma products, as you can imagine. Many of them vaccines these days. And in order to do that, you need systems like SAP. So we're very good at that. In the Microsoft area, we actually acquired a company some years ago. They are an NNIT group company called Scales. So they work with the Dynamics platform. We have a few competitors out there. And then you have the large outsourcing business that we also do, where we are competing with the big Indian players, actually. But depending where we are, we have different competitors. I hope that answers your question. In general term, we're growing. You will see 2021 is a growth year again, so we're going to hire. So we're going to get a lot more colleagues also. When you join, you're going to see a lot of other colleagues have just joined. And we are expanding across all our winning solutions areas. So that was something about NNIT and our growth. but all attached to the digital transformation, which is really gaining a lot of traction in the world right now. Then there's a good question. I actually don't know from whom, but thanks for it. It is a question that, what are the working hours like? Signe, can you help answer that question?
Yes, I can definitely try. I think in general, there's quite a lot of focus in work-life balance. So I mean, it's always about the health of the employee, so you should not feel stressed. And I think any manager really is very aware of burnouts and things like that. So don't be worried about the hours. It's flexible to some limits, and some weeks you work the basic 37 hours, and some weeks you work a little bit more, and then again you work a little bit less. But I think in general, I mean, there will always be peak hours and peak periods where you have to do that extra couple of hours here and there. But in general, I think there's a very, very big focus on work-life balance. Yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
I think you did a very good job there, Signe. So thanks for that. Thank you for that. There is also a question here because, you know, Camilla, you mentioned that you have been in China for half a year. So maybe we should go to Jane now, because how much travel and longer stays abroad can you, you know, can you expect, or will you, receive as an employee in NNIT? Jane, can you try and help that one?
I think, to be honest, COVID-19 has changed that a lot for us. So during the past year, none has been traveling, but we still work in international setups. So we're still part of international projects, and we work with colleagues from all over the world. So you will still have that sense of being part of an international company. And regarding having a module like Camilla in China or in one of the other places, I will not promise you that. I wouldn't dare promise anyone that right now. But it could be a possibility, but I think you should focus on the option of working together with people from all around the world. And then you can get on a project, maybe if the world allows it, and go out to some extent. But yeah, I'm a bit cautious about promising anything that I cannot keep. I hope this answers the question.
I think it was a good question there, Jane. There's a question here. Why did you, it's from Louis, why did you expand with the consulting program? So Camilla, I think that maybe you could answer this. So why did you expand with the consulting program, and how does it differ from instance from the project management? Which is interesting because both areas actually have project management skills, but
yeah, so it is a good question. First of all, why we did it? It's because we want to have young talent in our consultancy department. So we thought it would be a great idea to have this new setup. And I know how it is like to be a graduate. So of course I was preaching a lot for getting a consulting graduate program, because I know we develop very strong talent who we would also hope to get to continue in our consultancy department afterwards. So that's the reason why we did it. And how it differs from the project management, it is actually a really good question, and I think you can see that in several of the other, also in the NNIT graduate program, that you will get some similar tasks depending on where you are allocated in your modules. So I don't think there's a big difference if you choose to work directly on project management in consultancy. I guess it's more or less the same without knowing what exactly you do in the project management program. But on the other hand, I know that the consultancy tool and our focus on cybersecurity and data and AI, HoloLenses, all that. I don't think that is a focus in the project management. And I'm looking a bit at you. You might know a bit more on what you do in project management. Is it similar to the consultancy?
Well, and to some extent, what you're saying, there are some, maybe a consultant is assigned to a project as a project manager. But in this program, I feel like you're more focused on the operational level instead of, I think, and now I don't know the consultant management program, but it's more on a strategic level, often at times, advising people. You're still advising people as a project manager, but again, it's more on operational level. So, and here you also use your technicians and your architect as your advisor. So I think that's some of the differences.
Yeah, and you can also say that in the consulting, we work with a consulting team, so you develop several skills where project management is just one part of it. Then you also facilitate workshops and so on. So there's a lot of different things. So if you really want to specialize in the project management, I think you should go for the project management program. If you just want to have it as a part of your toolbox, then you should go for the consultant. That was a try.
That was a good question.
I think, can I add one thing? I think it's important also to understand that in these programs, you can actually meet each other. So you can have modules together because you will join some of the same departments, no matter which of the programs that you will be joining, because you will also in an IT graduate program could have the opportunity to work as a consultant and as a project manager and stuff like that. So you will meet each other and you will have some of the same opportunities. That's important. So yeah.
Listen, thanks for your good questions, everyone. And we got a ton of questions, and I think that we're gonna do 5 minutes more of questions. Is it okay with everyone here? Is it? I know that we were scheduled only for, but I mean, people, they love this stuff, so I think, you know, let's give them some questions and answers. So there's a question, I don't have the name here, but so hi, you mentioned that people on your programs have very diverse backgrounds, which is true. I am a PhD student in neuroscience with an interest on IT, but no formal background on it. And I'm thinking of applying after my PhD. Would you consider people with my background for your general graduate program? Thanks. Is Hazy? I think it's Hazia. Who would want? Anyone who wants to take is that you, Jana, again? Go ahead, Jane.
I go ahead again. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it sounds very interesting. I think that the most important thing is that you are interested in IT, you're motivated by it, and that you have sort of some sense of what it is, because you will, I mean, I don't want to lie, you will be working intensively with IT, not necessarily at a technical level, but you need to really have an interest in it and be curious about it. So, but I think that the life science part of what you're saying is really interesting. So definitely you should give it a go. I'd love to receive that application.
And I have a question here again, just to you, Jane. It's actually so hi, and thank you for the great presentation. That goes to all of us. So that was good. There's a question: what weight of importance, Jane, do you give candidates grades? So you haven't. So people are, you know, we're getting applications from people. We will meet them. We'll also send them, and you'll probably also look at their grades, diplomas, and so on. How does that? What's the balance there, Jane? Take it away.
Thank you. Your grades are important. because these programs that we offer are talent programs. We would of course like to receive the best, but it's not the only thing. Your ability to learn and your interest in learning is so important. So we will help you, we can teach you skills, but we cannot give you a new personality. So your personality is still very important. But we also look at grades because they are talent programs.
Thank you, Jane. I got a good one here for you, Emil. I can see you're sitting there relaxing at the wall, and Emil, I'm pretty sure I get a sense that you are a builder. Are you a builder, Emil? Like to build stuff?
Yeah, technical builder, I would say. Not a real builder.
No. But then you are a builder. Then you are a builder in NNIT. I got a question here about how much programming experience is expected from an applicant interested in building solutions. And to be honest, I mean, we got people who does a lot of building in NNIT, and they comes in many flavors. But I'm sure that you also work with people as a DevOps engineer who is building stuff. So can you give your perspective here on experiment with programming in order to become a builder?
Yeah, sure. I think it's a plus if you know have experience with programming, but it's not a must-have. I mean, like many of you other guys have said, I mean, the willingness to learn is sort of the must-have, I would say, because if you have that, then you can learn what you need on the job. That's my experience. Of course, that being said, in the DevOps program, you write a lot of scripts and you automate a lot of things, and this is in code. So you have to be willing to do that. Don't be afraid. It's awesome. I like it a lot. And if you don't know it already, you can learn it definitely. I've had a lot of programming experience from my degree, and I think this was this was a good thing because I knew some of the stuff already. But it's not that complicated. So if you're unsure, just apply, and we'll see. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a good answer. That was a very good answer there. Thank you, Emil. I got a question here also, which is a broad question, but it was about what kind of career opportunities do you have when you are finished as a graduate? Which is actually interesting because it's not like that everything finishes there, because obviously you will probably move into a normal role. But Jane, can you try and put your perspective on it? And then if anyone else here, maybe Camilla can also give some perspective on it afterwards. Jane?
Yeah. What we do is actually, when I talked about also giving you an open-ended contract, so you will be hired as an NNIT employee once you start in the graduate program. And if you will be joining one of our specialist programs, you will be offered a permanent position once the program has ended. So if you are part of the DevOps program, like Emil, then he will continue in the DevOps department afterwards. And Amalie will continue in our architect department, and Julia in our project management, and so on. But if you are part of the NNIT graduate program, there is this special thing that you get to choose which path you will continue with. So it will typically be in one of the 3 departments where you have been during your graduate program. And then you develop from there. I mean, your career doesn't end after that. So you will continue and get more opportunities as you go along.
I agree, Jane. I think that it never ends. So I'm still kind of doing the graduate program rotations. So that's really a great thing about NNIT, that we actually are very focused on develop our career and focused on rotate also after you're done by your graduate program. So I've tried several other departments afterwards. So you get it's difficult to say where you end exactly afterwards.
Okay, thank you. So I think that we're gonna, we have a last slide here, and I'll just try and bring it up here on the screen. If I can share my screen now, and hopefully you can see it now across, and I will just go to the next slide here, because there's some important messages to our viewers today. By the way, thank you for all your questions. Everyone was fantastic, and thanks all team to answer these. Jane, can you try and take us through the last couple of minutes here?
Yeah, thank you all for being so active and asking so many questions. It's great to feel your interest in our programs, and this last slide was important for me because I understand your interest. And so if you're eager to learn more, then please join our website. Go into NNIT.com, and if you look under career, you will find 2 sites, websites where you can actually read more about our type of programs. And you can also visit our LinkedIn page where you can also find information. And if you have read all this information and the job ads and you still have questions, then reach out to us. You can reach out to me and ask about the NNIT graduate program. You can reach out to Camilla, whom you have met already, regarding the consulting program. And you can reach out to Lene, our colleague, if you have questions regarding the DevOps program, architect, or project management program. And then remember, March 21st, that's the deadline for submitting your application. So remember that. We look forward to receiving all your applications. And thank you for your time and interest in our programs. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.